So when I take a look at it, I've tried to look at just some of the perspective. So if this went all the way to a vanishing point, it would go way off the table. So I'm just trying to make all these lines just generally parallel that represent this piece. So once you take a look at it, where to start, kind of had a general idea of the length, the width, and the height that this would take, knowing I'm going to do some other sketches. And kind of finding the corners. So this entrance of the port right there is right about the center line for that. This template has a series of 60, 45, 35, and 25. You don't need this one, but you can use it. And just kind of taking a look, again, just trying to, I can even use this edge of this piece for the straight edge, just to try to help me plot this out. And since it is a mechanical piece, I'm going to try to give myself as much help as I can, even though I'm not following any one isometric type idea. So I can come in and pretty heavily just kind of lay the tangent of this template, just trying to show a little bit more of a freehand way to illustrate with these pieces, and trying to think also with the shading as well as this layout. If you do take it onto a digital side, you have some of the similar pieces to work with. So that gives me a pretty good outer edge for the first part. It does come in a little bit, and again, if I'm pretty confident with that, I can go ahead and give myself the exact line, knowing this is kind of like being a freehand assisted sketch. And again, throwing out the template. And if you can see it, you're trying to compensate a little bit with the thickness of the pencil. And catching up that template. And some of those that'll probably be shaded off as I go. And then just kind of look for some of the detail. This plastic piece that has the connecting items is just a little bit off that section there. So I'm trying to locate that. And then all these lines going back, trying to make them all parallel. So I might just grab one of them and try to simulate this one, since this is a curve. Kind of building that up, just a little off, but building that section. So then this one is going to be the same angle here. And there's 4 of these items. They're not equal distances, but you can kind of see where they're listed out here. And using that same process, kind of looking at, since it's a little transparent, translucent, gives me a little bit of a connection there. So like I said, just kind of quickly building that up, still using this template. I'm using the curved 60-degree part. And at least gives me something. Again, you can freehand it. But then when you take a look at the next part, the plastic housing, it has a thickness to it. And again, just kind of building it up off of a rectangle and following the parallel lines here. If this went straight up, it's tapering this a little bit. So I'm just going to estimate that taper and a little bit of the curve. Again, trying to keep it all in some parallel lines. Same with this one. This is the bottom part of it. That's going to have a little taper down at the base. And again, all these lines just kind of projecting themselves back now that they're on a plane surface. Just kind of trying to freehand a little bit of it, keeping these parallel. So if you can estimate that connection there. Trying to see that piece. And same on the other side. Still looking at this parallel line. build it up across. Take this one across, you know, where it changes angle. So I sketched it out a little bit first, ahead of time. Length, width, and height. And that gives me the plastic housing. This back part, you can't see most of any of it. When you look at some of the other picture reference, you can kind of see a little bit of the cylinder. Not too much, but it has these grappled lines, which I'm not sure what those are connected to, but just for the side. Same with these panels here. So I'm just going to take a look at the elliptical shapes and try to give myself that piece there. And then the same angle of this line. Just kind of building that up. The cable inside, assuming it's right dead center, at least find the center line just like in animation, and then just give it a thickness on either side and try to parallel that across. I'm going to have it fade off the page there. So for the most part, have everything there, just a few detail sections there. So these little brackets, these are just rectangular squares. I'm just going to freehand them in there first. And go back and place them in there. And again, keep this parallel with it. And dropping this section down. So let's have a little cut side. There's 3 of these grooves on the side. So if you find out where they're connected, there's like little elliptical segments. And you can also see the reference material there. It goes from a pretty clear focused piece into a faded section. So it's pretty accurately placed, so once that's there, you can just shade it in lightly to see that edge. This has a little curve selection on the outside. So I can put a couple of those in. And then they have this logo on the top. It's kind of depressed in there, so on that one you may have to look at a different edge to it. And again, just find setting inside this rectangular shape. It's down a little bit. It has a arrow point to it. We're trying to be pretty accurate with it. And once you have it, just go ahead and have the up to illustration. I'm going to take the detail part first. So just kind of going in, clearing up the outline of it. heavies that section up. And now it's just a thickness to it that you have to locate. There you have it. So you have most of the line work done. Now it's just a matter of shading. It's between a plastic and a metal section. So just trying to lay in the tone for it. And again, the part that has the metal is going to give you a posterized look to it, plus a little reflection to it. Build that section up. Just find the edges and blend them into that section. And just go back and heavy up some of the sections here. You can see from the photograph it's very clear in the closer items, and then it blurs away in the distance, even on a small object. Let's see if you can get that piece there.